Tell me, whenever, clear, tell me, whenever there is a technology implemented, whenever there is a technology, will there be a risk or not? Whenever there is a technology, will there be a risk or not? Yes. Now tell me, any risk, any risk will have a positive impact on business, or will it have a negative impact on business? Obviously, it will have a negative impact on business. An introduction to risk and in detail about risk we have already seen in chapter 3, right? Risk is a combination of vulnerability and threat. Only vulnerability will not be considered as risk. Only threat will not be considered as risk. Vulnerability plus threat together will be considered as risk. All these things we have seen, right? Examples of risk like worm, virus, bomb, Trojan, etc. etc. We have already seen. In this chapter, we are going to study here. In this chapter, we are going to study about clear. In this chapter, with respect to risk, we are going to study about 5 concepts. Clear? Risk related 5 concepts we are going to study. The various sources of risk, like from where can risk come to business, types of risk, risk related terms. This is an amendment. Clear? This is an amendment. And here 2 points are amendments. 2 amendments are there here. Clear? Here 2 small points are amendment, and this is a complete amendment itself. Full question is an amendment. Then we have ERM benefits and ERM components. So 5 concepts we are going to see. So question number 1, 2, 3 and 4 done, right? 1, 2, 3 and 4 done. So question number 5 is sources of risk. Question number 6 is types of risk. Risk related terms, there is no question number. Clear? There is no question number for risk related terms. It's a pure amendment. Question number 7 is ERM benefits, and question number 8 is ERM components. Clear? So done with writing the intro. Don't write all these things. Clear? Don't write all these things. Clear? These are just nothing but what you are going to study. From here you have to copy the notes. Now, tell me, sources of risk means what? Sir, sources of risk means areas from where risk can occur. Means how can risk happen to a business? What are the things which may result into risk? Clear? Things which may result into risk is called what? Sources of risk. In simple words, if I say things which result into risk, correct or not? What I do, what things I do which will result into risk is called what? Sources of risk. Clear? So different areas, I repeat, different areas from where risk can occur is called what? Is called as risk. Now let us see some examples. These are the different areas, sir, from where risk can occur. Number 1, commercial and legal relationship. Like it is nothing but a contract. It's a commercial contract or a legal contract. Now tell, if a company does not follow the contract, let us say A and B, A Limited, B Limited entered into a contract. Clear? A Limited, B Limited entered into a contract. If A Limited does not perform its obligations as per the contract, can B file a legal case against him, against that company? Yes, that type of risk is called what? Commercial and legal relationships. It's because of a contract or an agreement between 2 or more people. Then human behavior. Sir, your behavior will create a risk for you or not? If you don't study, will you pass? If you don't study, will you pass? Now tell, is your behavior of not studying creating a risk for you? Yes. Simple. In the same way, human behavior, or you can say because of employees of a company, because of employees of company, because of employees of a company, can risk be created? Yes. Now let us say, for example, remember in core banking we have studied so many types of risk because of employees. Like employees may steal my data and give it to competitors. Employees may steal my data and give it to my competitors. In that case, will I be at a loss or not? Will I be at a risk or not? So all my customers' data is with my competitor. That is an example of what? Human behavior. Next to economic circumstances. In economics, started economics for you? Economics started? Okay. Economics faculty will teach you. I will just give you introduction to economic circumstances. Clear? I'll just give you an introduction because in Lakshya, I don't take economics in Lakshya. Clear? I take only EISSN. So I'll just give you an idea of economic circumstances. Today, GDP of India is falling or increasing? India's GDP is increasing or decreasing? Decreasing. Why? Sir, GDP depends upon production. I repeat, GDP does not depend on income of a person. GDP does not depend on income of a person. GDP depends upon what? Production. Now tell, due to corona lockdown, let us say for example, what is happening? Many of the manufacturers, let us say for example, uh, Maruti Suzuki production halt. So see, Maruti Suzuki India extends shutdown of manufacturing plants. Maruti is not manufacturing plant. It is not manufacturing cars. Honda is also not manufacturing cars here. Plus, Apple ka iPhone production in India is only 50%. Now tell, when production is not happening, will GDP decrease or not? GDP will decrease. Now tell, when GDP is decreasing, inflation will go up or go down? Inflation will go down. People are, see, when production is not happening, people will buy goods or not? People will not be able to buy goods. When people are unable to buy goods, price of goods will increase or decrease? Decrease. When price of goods decreases, people are not buying, production is not happening, people will get jobs or lose jobs? People will lose jobs. This is an example of economic circumstances. And then we have natural events like COVID situation is there. It's a natural event. Correct or not? COVID is nothing but a natural event. Like, it's the only Chinese item which is having a guarantee that it will work. Otherwise, Chinese things are use and throw, right? It is the only Chinese item which has a guarantee of working properly. So, COVID situation is there, floods is there, and yesterday only I heard some cyclone is going to come in India, it seems. I don't have a cyclone, only cyclone is coming. Next, political circumstances. Sir, what do we mean by political circumstances? Now, have you heard about like who won the Bengal elections recently? BJP or TMC? Mamta. Mamta, it seems. Is she a friend, Ray? Mamta Akka, you tell. She is called Mamta Akka. Mamta Akka won. After Mamta Akka winning the elections, now tell what happened. BJP people and Mamta Akka, all that party workers, did they clash or not? Almost 30-40 people lost their lives or not in the clashes. That is called what? Political circumstances. Because of political situation, business will face a risk or not. Due to clashes, so almost 1 week business was closed. And next, technology. Now tell, sir, technology will remain same or keep changing? Technology will keep changing. Can I keep investing the money? You think every business will have money to keep changing the technology? No, practically not possible. If I don't change the technology because I don't have money, will I be able to survive? No, I may have to close my business. And then we have management and individual activities. Sir, management is not good. Management is not good. What will happen? Business will get good. Good do it will get. It means it will be zero. Now what happened to Satyam? It became Asatyam. Sahara became Besahara. Apna kone apna this one. Vijay Malia, king of good times, he became king of bad times now. And one more example, if management is not good, what will happen? Recently, I have seen this news. I kept this one. See, Indian Bank declares Saravana Stores account as fraud. I don't know whether you know about Saravana Stores or not. It is one of the biggest jewelry companies and showrooms in Tamil Nadu. How much worth of fraud they have done? Almost how much? 230 crores worth of fraud they have done. 230 crores worth of fraud. This is because of management, and it can be because of individuals also. It can be because of total management, or it can be because of individual people in management. Maybe because of top level management, or because of lower level management, or because of middle level management. Correct? Done writing first point. Done writing all these points. Examples of this one. Point number one. Here, these are all the examples of areas from where risk can happen. Point number two. Sir, why to identify the sources of risk? What is the requirement for understanding the sources of risk? Why should I understand the sources of risk? Why, if I understand the sources of risk, I will know my possible threats. Means threats will come from which area? Like threat may come from commercial or legal relationships. Threat may come because of economic circumstances. Threat may come because of human behavior. So possible threats, what is the threat expected possibility? Clear? Next, possible vulnerability means, because now tell, when will threat occur? When there is a vulnerability or when there is no vulnerability? Vulnerability. Example of vulnerability: I know that I know that I will not be able to perform the contract, but still I entered into contract. I know that employees are kachra fellows, still I hire them. I know that because of inflation or deflation, my company may close, but still I open that business. Sir, I am opening a hotel business even today. Even today, I started a hotel business. Will I be successful or not? No. I know that COVID situation where no one will buy goods, no one will buy right food. Will you go to have I near what is that near Lakshya? There is one Bindu hotel. Have you heard about it? I used to every day with your audit faculty. When audit starts, you'll come to know his name is Grover, Rohit Grover. Along with him, every day we both used to eat bhajis there. Mysore bhaji, idli, not idli, Mysore bhaji, bhaji and all. We used to eat mirchi bhaji and all. Every day, 6 o'clock like that. Because our classes will be at 9, 9:30 in that area. Evening 5 to 9 will be our classes in that area. So we used to meet around 6, 6:30. We used to eat. One fine day, what happened was, we saw that fellow preparing bhaji. It was like in that paint ka bucket. Old paint ka bucket will be there. In that all pindi was there. Inside that his complete hand was there till his arms, till his shoulder. His hands was there inside. Whether that fellow has done waxing or not, also we don't know. Without waxing only, without going to beauty parlor, without waxing, his hand was fully inside, and he is mixing with that his hand. After that, I stopped eating Mysore bhaji only outside. If I want, I'll only cook and eat inside. Tasty, I gave my order back. Before that, I found it to be tasty because all that masala will come inside that bhaji. No, now that taste will not come because of COVID situation. So from that time, I thought I will not eat Mysore bhaji outside. I very rarely I eat something outside nowadays because I cook myself and eat whatever I feel like eating, bhaji, puff, anything I eat. I prepare at home only and eat. I will not eat outside only. After seeing that, if I eat outside also, I'll eat only in big restaurants. I'll not go to Bandi Bundi and all and eat. Why? Now tell, they are called what? Economic situations. Clear? So these are the various reasons where threats and vulnerabilities may happen. Now tell, when threat is there, when vulnerability is there, risk will be there or not? Sir, when threat is also there, vulnerability is also there, risk will be there or not? Sir, when risk is there, what should I do? Should I keep quiet or try to manage the risk? Prepare a strategy. I should try to prepare a strategy to manage the risk. Manage the risk means reduce the risk. Now tell, can risk be eliminated? Can risk be eliminated? No. But can I reduce the risk to acceptable level? Yes. Clear? No. Done writing the second point also? No. Okay. Those who have not writing, you can write. Now, then we have characteristics of risk, means features of risk. Feature number one, potential loss due to threat and vulnerability. Obviously, when threat and vulnerability come together, will there be a loss? Will there be a loss? In future, if vulnerability and threat come together, if threat exploits my vulnerability, will I be at a loss? Yes. It can be financial loss also. It can be non-financial loss also. Financial loss means I may lose money. Non-financial loss means I may lose my goodwill. And moreover, now tell, future is certain or uncertain? Now tell, risk is certain or uncertain? Uncertain. So uncertainty, can I say uncertainty can be expressed in terms of probability? Uncertainty, can it be expressed in terms of probability? Means what is the percentage of risk happening? What is the percentage of loss because of risk happening? So whatever this potential loss is there, this potential loss because of risk is called what? Uncertainty. Uncertainty can be expressed in terms of what? Probability. What is that probability? Probability that threat may attack my system, threat may attack my weak system, or threat may attack my weak network. Clear? So this is a basic introduction to risk, and this is a different introduction which we have not seen till now. So those who have not written, please make a note of it so that we can continue. Scroll up. This is the first concept we have seen today. This was just a concept what we are going to study today. From here is the new concept. Done writing, everyone? No. Now tell me, when risk is there, what should business do? When risk is there, now let us understand different control the risk. But before controlling the risk, do we need to understand the different types of risk? No. There are two types of risk. Clear? In business, there are two types of risk. First one is business risk. Second one is technological risk. Clear? First one is business risk. Second one is technological risk. So technological risk we have studied as question number 3 in chapter number 5 CBS. I repeat, question number 3 what we have studied under CBS, they have deleted from CBS chapter and copied into which chapter? Chapter 1. That is the only amendment. Clear? That is the only amendment. That is what I told you. Clear? Types of risk में amendments are there. What is that amendment? Amendment number 1. Technological risk, which was there in chapter question number 3, chapter number 5, has been deleted from chapter number 5 and transferred to chapter number 1. I'll tell you what was that too. It was this question. You've already seen, right? This one. Challenges of IT in banking, right? Challenges of IT in banking. Same exactly copy paste. They deleted from chapter 5 and transferred to which chapter? Chapter 1 as what, sir? Technology risk. Clear? So deleted it from this question from chapter number 5 and same question, same answer we have transferred it to chapter 1 and the name of the question now is technology risk. Clear? All these things we have already completed. Notes also have already given in chapter 5. That time also I told you that this is question relating to chapter number 1. Next, second type of risk what we have is business risk. Clear? Business risk may these two are amendments. This is an amendment and this is an amendment. Clear? Total how many risks are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out of the 7 risks, first 5 are old only. There is no changes here. First 5 may no changes. Risk number 6 and risk number 7, they are pure amendments. So high chances of they being asked in exam. Clear? So now heading should be types of risk. So how many types of risk are there? 2 types. Business risk and technological risk. Technological risk we have already seen in chapter number 5 core banking systems, question number 3. Sorry, it was not question number 3, question number 2 it was, right? It was question number 2. Question number 2. Which color is this? Question number 2. Leave. Clear? It was question number 2, chapter number 5 core banking. Now let us see different types of business risk. Clear? Now let us see different types of business risk. Clear? Now heading should be business risk. Have you written this introduction so that later on you should not get confused in MCQs if they ask? No. Now heading should be business risk. Now let us see different types of risk which a business can face. Clear? Now I will not go in sequential order. I will go in conceptual order. Clear? Sir, I am unable to perform my day-to-day activities properly. There is no efficiency. There is no effectiveness in my day-to-day operations. I repeat, I am unable to perform my day-to-day operations like purchase I am unable to do properly, sales I am unable to do, accounting I am unable to do, finance I am unable to manage. All my day-to-day activities I am unable to manage properly. That will result into which risk? Operational risk. I repeat, a risk which will not allow, I repeat, if I am unable to perform my day-to-day activities, it will result into which risk? Operational risk. Now 10. Since I am unable to achieve my day-to-day activities, since I am unable to perform my day-to-day activities, will I be able to achieve my objectives? If I don't perform my day-to-day activities properly, will I be able to achieve my objectives? So if I'm unable to achieve my objectives, it will result into which risk? Strategic risk. If I'm unable to achieve my objectives, that will result into what? Strategic risk. Now tell, did operational risk result into strategic risk also? Did one risk create another risk? Now tell. Now tell me, if I'm unable to, now tell, if I'm unable to achieve my objectives, if I'm unable to achieve my objectives, will people invest in my business? Will people invest in my business? Now tell. When people don't invest in my business, will it have a positive impact or negative financial impact? Negative financial impact. Negative financial impact means losses. My company will have losses. Negative losses or losses means which risk? Financial risk. Now see, because of operational risk, strategic risk created. Because of strategic risk, financial risk created. Now tell, sir, if I'm running into losses, will I have money to pay my taxes on time? Like income tax, GST, PF, ESI on time? If I don't pay the taxes on time, will government levy fines and penalties on me or not? So government is asking me to pay fines and penalties for not following the law. That comes under which risk? Regulatory risk. Correct? Now tell. Sir, now tell. I'm unable to see here. I'm unable to perform my day-to-day activities. It is resulting in operational risk, because of which I'm unable to achieve my objectives. Strategic risk. Since I'm unable to achieve my objectives, people are not investing. I'm running into losses. Financial risk. Because of which I'm unable to pay taxes on time. Regulatory risk. Now tell. All these things will create positive publicity for me in market or negative publicity. Because of this negative publicity, will my reputation, my goodwill be bad in market? Will it go in market? Because of all these things, which risk will come? Reputational risk. Reputational risk means risk of negative publicity. So what is happening here? One risk, is it creating another multiple risk? Is one risk creating multiple risk? When one risk is affecting all the other risk, when one risk is creating other risk also, it is called cross enterprise risk, which we will study in next question. Clear? If one risk is creating another risk, if one risk is creating multiple risk, this is called what? Cross enterprise risk. Clear? Now, then we have a new amendment, hazard risk, another amendment, residual risk. Now tell me, sir, can I take an insurance to reduce my risk? Can I take insurance to reduce my risk? If I am able to take insurance to reduce my risk, if I am able to take insurance to reduce my risk, that is called what? Hazard risk. Example, for natural disasters, can I take a insurance? Like earthquake, tsunami, floods, typhoon, cyclone. Sir, can I take risk of, you can say insurance for impairment of assets, means insurance for physical assets, like insurance for mobile phone, insurance for machines, can I take? Yes, sir. Can I take insurance against terrorist attack in India especially? Yes, sir. So any risk which I can insure is called what? Hazard risk. Now tell. Sir, if risk is there, what should I implement? How do I reduce the risk? I should implement what? Controls. Correct or not? If risk is there, I need to implement controls. Now tell. After implementing the controls, now tell me, will implementation of controls give me 100% guarantee that there will be no risk? Will it give me absolute assurance or reasonable assurance? Reasonable assurance. It will give only a reasonable assurance. So can I say, even after implementing controls, can I say, even after implementing controls, still some risk will be there? Even after implementing control, at least 1% risk will be there. So the risk which is there even after implementing controls, any risk which is still there, I repeat, a risk which is still there even after implementing the controls is called what? Is called as the residual risk. Clear? So they can say, remember one thing, why sir, why risk will be there? Because risk can be minimized but cannot be eliminated. Do you agree with this point? Risk cannot be eliminated, it can only be minimized. Minimize means kept within acceptable limits. Correct or not? Kept within acceptable limits. How much risk I can bear. Now, if I am able to keep the risk at acceptable limits, if I am able to keep my risk in acceptable limits, will I be able to manage it properly? If I am able to keep the risk within limits, small limits, will I be able to manage my business properly? Yes. So whenever risk is there, remember, acceptance of residual risk is mandatory. Means you cannot say there is no risk. Risk will always be there. So you have to accept that residual risk is there. Plus selection of safeguards means selection of controls. Residual risk you have to keep in mind, plus controls also you have to keep in mind. Why? Because implementation of safeguards or implementation of controls will not give me 100% surety of elimination of risk. Risk will always be there in my business. Clear? Any doubts? Simple question. So can you please note down, those who have not written down, can you please note down the heading business risk? While writing, don't write blindly. Clear? If you are having any doubt, you will just please wait for a minute. I'll read. First, let the students write first 4 points. Done? First 4 points. Done writing first 4 points. Next. So point number one under residual risk is risk remaining even after counter measures are implemented. Clear? Risk remaining even after counter measures are implemented. Done? No. Sir, in no, risk response strategies, we have already seen in chapter number 5, right? Risk avoidance, risk acceptance, clear risk sharing or transfer, risk mitigation. We have already seen in chapter number 5 this concept. So that concept is again there in chapter number 5, which I am not going to explain. Done. So let us continue to next concept. Clear? Next. No, not done. Okay, okay, right, right. Okay, next. Next question I told you, it's a pure amendment, complete amendment. This is risk management terms. Clear? There are different definitions are given here. Important for exams. 2 marks. Clear? They won't ask you all definitions. Any one definition they may ask you for 2 marks. Clear? Any one. They will not ask you everything. Sir, when risk is there, what will I implement? When risk is there, what should I implement? Controls. Now tell. Controls are implemented for what purpose? Managing the risk or not? Controls are implemented to manage the risk or not. Manage the risk means reducing the risk to acceptable level. Clear? So now, what exactly do we mean by risk management? So risk management is nothing but assessing the risk. Means assessing the risk means understand what type of risk am I having. Assessing the risk means understanding what type of risk I may have. Like I may have an operational risk, I may have financial risk, I may have regulatory risk, I may have residual risk. What type of risk I'm having? Clear? Step number one. Step number two, once I know what type of risk I have, what should I do? I should try to reduce it to which level? Acceptable level. So once I find out what type of risk I have, I should try to reduce the risk to acceptable level. So how to reduce the risk to acceptable level? Implement controls. Correct or not? How to reduce risk to acceptable levels? Implement controls. Implement controls. Clear? Implement controls. And once I reduce the risk to acceptable level, once I reduce the risk to acceptable level, should I remove the controls? I should keep maintaining the level of controls. I should keep the control so the risk is also kept at a minimum level. Why? Once I reduce the risk, if I remove controls, what will happen? Risk will again increase. So step number one, assess what type of risk you are having. Then try to reduce the risk. And after reducing the risk, try to maintain the risk at minimum level. Don't try to increase it. So can I same 3 points? Can I write in this way? Identify the risk, measure the risk, and then minimize the uncertain events. Same 3 steps can be written as identifying the type of risk, measuring the risk means check whether it is high or low. If it is low, no problem. If it is high, try to keep it at minimum and then minimize uncertainties by maintaining the same level of risk. So same 3 points I can write in this way also. But in exam, which way will you write? Both the ways you have to write. Clear? So done writing with this point, first point. So first make a note down point number one, then we'll go to point number two, definition number two. Sorry. Now, second definition what we have is, okay, second definition what we have is asset. Clear? Asset. Now tell me, something which is useful for you is an asset or something which is useless for you is an asset? Something which is useful for you or something which is useless for you? Sir, something which is useful for you is an asset. So can I say something which is useful to an organization is called as what? Asset. So can I say data or information is very important? Data is important for a business because if data is not there, can I convert into information? Can I see if data is not there, can I get information without data? No. So can I say data or information is an example of what? Asset to a business. Correct or not? Data or information is an asset to business. And this data or information, can it be in physical form, like printed outputs, printed copy, printouts, printouts. Sir, can it be in electronic form, like a PDF copy or Word file? Clear? So something which is of value, something which provides some value to an organization is called as what? Asset. Example of an asset, it can be data or information. And this data or information can be in two different ways. It can be in physical form, it can be in electronic form. Next, see, now asset is not easily replaceable without cost, skills, time and resources. Sir, in order to replace an asset, in order to replace data, in order to get new data, do I need to spend money? In order to get new data, do I need to spend money? Yes, sir. It involves cost too. In order to, now tell next, in order to analyze the data, in order to convert the data into information, do I need skills? Do you think data can be converted into information within seconds, or it takes time to convert? It takes time. Plus, I also need resources. I also need resources to convert data into information. What are the resources? Information system. Human beings cannot convert data to information. Information system is required. Clear? So in order to replace data or information, I need cost, that is money, I need skills, I need time, I need resources. So many things are required. Correct or not? Next, done writing first 3 points. Okay. Now there are three types of data or information. There can be three types of data or information. First is proprietary. Clear? Proprietary means I can share it with anyone. I can share it with anyone, no issues. Then I have highly confidential, means data which is highly confidential. See, proprietary data I can share with anyone, means even if I lose that data also, I'm least bothered. Now let us see your name. Now tell me, your name is a proprietary information or not? If someone gets to know about your name, will you feel bad? Will you become mental? "ఒరేయ్, ఈయనకు నా పేరు ఎలా తెలిసిందిరా?" Will you become mental? No, right? That's a proprietary information. But date of birth, especially relating to girls, highly confidential. Correct or not? Date of birth, especially relating to girls, highly confidential. Today, if you ask what is your age, 20 years. After 50 years, what is your age? 20 years. After 120 years, if they ask what is your age, 20 years. 16. Okay, 16 we will tell. After you die, then what is your age? 16 years. And then top secret. What is top secret to you? Something which you will never share with anyone, which will be there only with you. I repeat, something which you will never share with anyone. Highly confidential, you will share with only very few people. Proprietary, I will share with anyone, but top secret, it is a secret. I don't want to share with anyone. Example, your marital status, your income. Here, your marital status is there, your income is there, your business is there. Now, let us see, your parents are asking, ఏం చేస్తున్నావు daily చదువుతున్నావా లేదా? Top secret, mummy. I will not tell. She will throw bata and give you chata. Then you will tell, okay, I'm attending class. That is top secret. BF, breakfast. Okay. That is called what? Top secret. These are the different types of data or information. Now remember one thing. Organization's existence will be in trouble without data. Now tell, can a business survive without having data or information? Like data or information relating to competitors will be there, relating to government will be there. So that is why, can I say data or information or both are very important assets of a business. Clear? Done writing? Done writing the definition of asset? Very good. Next. Sir, the third type of asset we have is vulnerability. We have already studied vulnerability, right? So many times. Vulnerability means what? Strong points or weakness? Weakness. Where, sir, weakness in a device or a network is called what? Weakness in a device or a network which threat can exploit is called what? Vulnerability. Now tell. Missing controls will determine level of vulnerability. Number of controls missing are very high. Vulnerability will be very high. Number of controls missing are very less. So obviously vulnerability will be very less. Do you agree with this? When controls missing are very high, vulnerability will be very high. When controls missing are less, vulnerability will be very less. So can I say missing controls? Can I say missing controls and vulnerability have a direct relationship with each other? Missing controls and vulnerability have a direct relationship with each other? Yes, sir. Clear? Next. Examples of vulnerability. Attacker is able to execute commands or install a software without my permission in my device. So my device is vulnerable or not? Attacker or a hacker is able to execute commands or do something on my system without my permission. Example of vulnerability. Sir, attacker is able to access my data without my permission. Is that an example of vulnerability or not? Yes, sir. Then writing first 2 points. Next. Attacker is posing as an another entity, means attacker is spoofing me. I am me, you are you. You are you, not me. I am me, not you. But as an attacker, we are making everyone believe that I am me, not you. Clear? And you are not you, you are me. But who am I actually me? I am me, not you. You are you, not me. But people are believing you to be me and me to be you. But what is not correct, right? That is called spoofing. And then attacker is trying to conduct DOS attack. This DOS means denial of service attack. I explained this in detail in chapter 5. Denial of service attack means I will hack your computer and I will ensure that you will not use your device only. Clear? So write this point number 3 also. Done. Now tell, when vulnerability is there, what will be there? When vulnerability is there, what will be there? Risk will not be there. Threat will be there. When vulnerability and threat both are there, then risk will be there. Rishita madam, then writing. D point. Okay, right. So when vulnerability is there, threat will also be there. Sir, what is a threat? Threat is nothing but a potential to harm system or a network or both. Potential means threat may happen, may not happen. Now let us say, for example, there is no antivirus in my laptop. There is no antivirus in my laptop. What is it? Is it a vulnerability or a threat? There is no antivirus in my system. What is the top part of your body? Topmost, last part of your body on top. Is it foot or head? Head, right? What you do? Keep your head on the wall and hit it. Now tell. Sir, when I don't install uh, antivirus, my device is strong or weak? Weak device is called what? Vulnerability. Threat taken to Chachindra Babu, Papa. See, you hit your head on the wall, you gave the correct answer. So in exam, you ensure that your hall ticket number is near a wall. Hit and you'll get the answer. Hit and you'll get the answer. People will think you are released from mental hospital. Welcome. Clear? Now. So now tell, when threat, let us assume that. Now tell, if antivirus is not there, am I 100% sure that virus will come into my device? Am I 100% sure virus will come? No. I am not sure. Again, yes and no. Break your head and tell the answer. No. See, there can see 100%. I cannot give 100% guarantee in IT. Everything I can do. 100% guarantee I cannot give. So when antivirus is not there, I cannot say 100%. I cannot say that virus is there. Virus undra. I also cannot give a 100% guarantee that virus will not come. So neither I can give a positive guarantee nor I can give a negative guarantee. So that is why it is called what? Potential event. It is a potential event, means it may happen, may not happen. Let us assume that if threat happens, will it compromise the quality of your device and network or not? Will people believe in the quality of your device then if an attack happens? No. No. So can I say it has an intention to do harm? It has an intention to do harm. Clear? No. Can I say asset and threats are closely related? Example of asset is what? Data. Example of asset is data and information. Hacker will try to access what? My data. Hacker will try to access my information, which is nothing but asset. So can I say asset and threat are related to each other? They are all husband and wife. Husband is asset, wife is threat. Sorry. Reverse also you can say. Husband is threat, wife is asset. Anything you can say. Next. How can you prevent? How can you prevent a threat? Don't say by not marrying. I'm asking you example from exam point of view, not from personal point of view. How can you prevent the threat? By controls, by controlling. Abba, oddura ee marriage odde oddira naku. Simple. Example of control search CAT. CAT means confidentiality, integrity, availability, timeliness. Clear? Confidentiality, integrity, availability, and timeliness. Done writing with first point. All points done in threat. Very good. Now, sir, now tell when threat is there and vulnerability. When threat and vulnerability come together, it will result into what? Risk. Because of risk, it will have a negative impact. Negative impact means loss or not. Negative impact means loss or profit. Loss. Loss is nothing but what? Loss is also called as what? Exposure. Loss is nothing but exposure. Another word for loss is what? Exposure. Next. So can I say exposure is nothing but extent of loss if risk occurs. Extent of loss if risk occurs. And this loss can be short term loss also, long term loss also. This risk can cause short term impact on my business also, long term impact on my business also. It may impact my business immediately, it may impact my business in future also. Now let us say Big Basket data got hacked. Will a business now is Big Basket immediately impacted or not? Now tell. Now when you came to know that Big Basket ka data is getting hacked, in future will you buy anything from Big Basket? Now tell, is it having a long term and short term both impact or not? Clear? First, right. So it will result into what? Loss of business, loss of reputation, and loss of money or resources. So make a note of this. Done. Next. Now tell, sir, threat. Are you 100% sure that threat will happen, or there is a chance of happening a threat? Again, you are telling 100%. Break your head and tell the answer. Go to the wall, put your head and tell the answer. There is a chance. That is what I told. Threat is not a guarantee. I cannot give a guarantee that 100% virus will come in my device. I also cannot give a 100% guarantee that virus will not come in my device. So there is a chance of threat happening. That chance of threat is called what? Likelihood is also called as what? Probability that threat will succeed. In undesirable event. Hacking is a desirable event or undesirable event? Do you want hacking to happen in your device? So it is a undesirable event. So chance of hacking, clear? So likelihood is nothing but probability of undesirable event happening. So what are the points to be considered? The presence of threat. Is threat there or not? Tenacity means effect of that threat. Whether threat is strong or weak. Strength of threat. And plus safeguards or controls which you have implemented for threat. These 4 points you have to keep in mind if you have mind with respect to likelihood. Please make a note of that. Tenacity means you can say effect, major or impact. Tenacity means impact. Major or minor impact is called what? Tenacity. Done. Next. Last two definitions are there. One is attack, second one is countermeasure. Clear? Now, let us say for example, you go for a marriage. Tell me, what is the only reason you go for a marriage? The only reason you go for a marriage? Food. So the exact time you keep, you stand, you will not go inside that place where marriage is happening. Outside only you will stand. Why? The time they open the food counter, attack. Attack means what? You are trying to attempt to gain what? Food. You are trying to attempt to eat food. In the same way, attack means what? Attempt to gain unauthorized access to system. Attempt to gain what? Unauthorized access to system. You are trying to gain unauthorized access to system. Now tell, when unauthorized access happens, will it reduce the people's dependability on your system or not? Will people depend on your system? No, they will stop depending on your system. So can I say it is a malicious, means unwanted, intentional fraud. Wantedly I am trying to access your device. Wantedly I am trying to access your data. Why? Because I found that there is some vulnerability in your software which I want to exploit. Now tell, when someone is attacking, when someone is, now let us say you're let us say, now tell, are you the only person who goes to marriage to eat food? There are almost every person, including the parents of a people, including the parents of the husband and wife who are getting married, they are least bothered about marriage, they are bothered about food only, right? Anyhow marriage will happen. Pandit also will be thinking, when will marriage complete, when will I get food? Everyone will be thinking about food only, right? So everyone will try to attack, correct or not? Everyone will try to get attack. Now tell, when attack happens, are you the only one attack or someone else will also be attacking? When someone else also attacks, that is called what? Countermeasure. Now 100 people are coming and jumping on top of each other, they are killing each other for one gulab jamun and ice cream. What will happen? The person serving the food, what will that fellow tell? Agandra, why anta tondar, why you want to die for gulab jamun? Stand in line. That fellow will ask you, stand in line, maintain social distancing, because rather than gulab jamun, you will get corona jamun then. Correct or not? That is called what? Countermeasure. Means if risk is there, what will business do? Business will keep quiet or implement controls? Implement controls. Implementing the controls to manage risk. Implementing the controls to manage risk is called what? Countermeasure. That is called what? Action taken by management to reduce what? Vulnerability. Action taken by management to reduce vulnerability or weakness. Example, strong password, strong authentication means biometric, strong username, strong mobile phone number. These are all examples of what? Countermeasures. Make a note of these two concepts. Done, everyone? Strong authentication protocol means strong authentication rules or protocols. Done, Babulu, Papulu? Sir, one scroll up. Hmm. This one only or more up? This one. Next. As I already told you, when risk is there, what will management do? Management will try to reduce the risk. Correct or not? To reduce the risk. They have to prepare a plan. They need to have some technique to reduce the risk. To reduce the risk, some techniques are required. So the techniques to reduce the risk, clear? The techniques to reduce risk, clear? Techniques to reduce the risk prepared by, or you can say followed by top level management is called what? Enterprise risk management. A technique, it is not a technology. I repeat, enterprise risk management is not a technology, it is a technique. It's a way of reducing the risk. Who will follow this way of reducing the risk? Which level of management will follow enterprise risk management? Only and only top level management. Clear? So the techniques followed by top level management in order to reduce the risk are called what? Is called as enterprise risk management. Now, enterprise risk management will help me to identify potential threats. Now tell. So potential threat means existing threat or future threat? Future threats. Potential threats means future threats. So today I know what is the problem. But do I know now? Today I know what is my threat. Today I know what is my problem. But future problems, future threats, who will help me in analyzing? ERM plus. If now tell, if I have a little bit idea also, if I have a little bit idea also about my future threats, will I be able to manage my risk in present correctly or not? Little bit idea also about my future risk if I have, will I be able to manage my risk today properly or not? I'm able to identify my future problems. I'm able to manage my present and future problems. Will it give me an assurance of achievement of objectives? Achievement of objective means CIAT. Will it help me in achieving my objectives of confidentiality, integrity, availability, timeliness? But now tell me what type of assurance is provided by, now tell me what type of assurance is provided by ERM? Absolute assurance or reasonable assurance? Reasonable assurance. Reasonable assurance means less than 100% guarantee. Now tell, can anyone give me 100% guarantee? No. Neither controls can give me nor enterprise risk management can give me. Controls, I repeat, controls are a very small part of enterprise risk management. I repeat, if this is controls, this is enterprise risk management. Now tell, is control a part of ERM or ERM a part of control? Question number one, is ERM a part of control? Yes or no? Is ERM a part of control? No. No. Control is a small part of ERM. Control is a small part of ERM. Done with writing introduction? Now let us assume that business implements ERM technique in their business. Let us assume that top level management implements ERM technique in a business. Now tell, will ERM reduce the risk or not? I cannot say ERM will eliminate the risk. Can it reduce the risk or not? Yes. When risk reduces, will I have an advantage or not? Now let us see what are the advantages what a business will get if they implement ERM. If they implement ERM technique in your business, if you implement ERM technique in your business, what are the advantages you are going to get? Advantage number one, it will help you to align risk appetite and strategy. Remember one thing, your strategy should be dependent upon what? Your risk appetite. Your strategy should be dependent on your risk appetite. Risk appetite means maximum risk what you can bear. The maximum risk what a business can take, the maximum risk what a business is ready to accept is called what? Risk appetite. Now tell me, you have 1 lakh rupees. You have 1 lakh rupees. You want to invest. Unless and until you know how much risk you are ready to take, will you be able to invest the money? If you don't know how much risk you are ready to take, will you be able to invest the money? No. Now tell me, Pranati madam, how much risk percentage you are ready to take? How much percentage of risk you are ready to take? Pranati madam, let some assumption you tell. 50%. So what happens? 50% you are ready to take risk. So 50% of your money you will invest where? In equity shares, because risk is high. And 50% risk you are not ready to take, means balance 50% I will invest where? In debentures, where risk is less, or preference shares where risk is less. So can I say the risk what you are ready to bear, the risk what you are ready to accept is called what? Risk appetite. And your strategy should always be based on what? Risk appetite. Correct or not? Your strategy should always be based on risk appetite. Now see. So whenever you're preparing a strategy, three things you have to keep in mind. Whenever you're preparing a strategy with respect to ERM, 3 points you have to keep into mind. Point number one, evaluation of strategic alternatives, means if alternative 1 does not work, does not reduce the risk, I will follow alternative 2. Alternative 2 also does not reduce the risk, I will follow alternative 3. Alternative 3 also does not follow reduce the risk, I will follow alternative 4. Alternative 4 also you are unable to manage, what will you use? Alternative 5. Alternative 5 also you are unable to reduce the risk, you are a moddu fellow, you don't know anything, leave the company. Multiple alternatives should be there. So you have to evaluate multiple alternatives. Why? If one alternative does not work, second alternative will be there. Next, once you decide your alternative, then set your objective. What is your objective? Is your objective to reduce the risk, or is your objective to implement the controls? And then based on that, develop your strategy to manage the risk. So first evaluate the alternatives, set your alternative, select the best alternative, and then develop a strategy based on your selected alternative. Clear? So note down point number 1, then we will go to point number 2. Do you know demand and supply curve? Do you know demand and supply curve? My writing will be like demand and supply curve only, right? See, like this. This is supply curve. This is demand curve. This is supply curve. This is demand curve. This is convex to the origin. This is facing to the origin. It will be like snake and ladders. It will go somewhere. Done writing? One scroll up. This one. Once show he. Who is he? Heading. Okay. I thought who is he? How should I show he? Okay. Next. And heading is enterprise risk management. Done? No. Next. Point number 2. It will help me in linking growth, risk and return. Now tell. Risk and return will have a direct relationship or indirect relationship? Now tell me, risk and return will have a direct relationship or indirect relationship? Break your head and now tell the answer. Direct relationship. Risk increases, return also increases. More risk, less return. Papa, from where did you get this answer? When risk increases, return also increases. Now tell, will you get more? Now tell, equity shares and debentures. Risk is more where? Equity shares. So where will you get more dividend? More income will be there in which case? So when you take more risk, income will be more. Now see. So when risk is high, return will also be high. When your returns are high, will you grow fast or not? Your growth will be high or not? When risk is less, income will also be very less. When risk is less, income will also be very less. When income is less, your growth will be high or less? Your growth will be less. So ERM will help me to identify the risk and assess the risk. Sir, why should I identify and assess the risk? Why should I identify and assess the risk? If I don't identify and assess the risk, will I come to know how much return I am going to get? If I don't know how much return I'm going to get, will I be able to decide the growth strategy? No. So that is why, so identifying and assessing the risk will help in deciding what? growth and return objectives. Clear? So please make a note of point number 2. Next, then we have, it helps me in giving risk response strategy, means trying to decide what type of strategy I should give. Clear? I will ask you some questions, you tell which one it should be. Implement controls. When I implement controls, what will happen? Out of these 4 options, tell me what will happen if I implement controls. Risk reduces. Very good. Next, I take insurance. What will happen? I take insurance. 1, 2, 3 or 4? Number 3, that is risk sharing. Now, sir, I am not clear. I am not doing any activity. I am not involving. I am not doing any activity which is giving me risk. I am not doing any activity which will give me risk. It is called risk avoidance. Clear? It is called risk avoidance. Now tell, sir, I am neither able to avoid the risk, nor I am able to reduce the risk, nor I am able to share the risk. Then what will I do? Number 4, accept the risk. Chapter number 5 in core banking we have done this. So please make a note of this. Done. Next. Clear? Now, RA means, where did I write RA? Where did I write RA? Achha, RA means risk appetite. RA means risk appetite. Achha, one more thing. From tomorrow. Clear? From tomorrow. Today I have taken 11:30 to 1 only. Clear? Today I have taken only 11:30 to 1. Clear? From tomorrow I am available during this time also. From tomorrow every day, from Monday to Saturday, our classes will be 11:30 to 1, and then again from 3:30 to 5. Clear? 3:30 to 5:30, not 5. So this will be our timings from tomorrow. 11:30 to 1 and 3:30 to 5:30, and this timings will be there from tomorrow. Accounts ka I think they will take after 5, from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock, I think so. Accounts they are planning. Costing I don't know, but I think after from 6 to 8 there will be one more class. Clear? From 6 to 8 there will be one more class, and I think law class in the morning they will have only 1 hour, 6:30 to 7:30. 6:30 to 7:30 you will have a law class, and then 7:30 to whatever it is. Clear? Yeah, I thought I will be taking rest on Saturday, Sundays, but as I already told you that after this lockdown is over, I'm planning to give you 3-4 days leave, right? And this is the only Sunday I'm taking class, not every Sunday. This is the only Sunday I'm taking, not every Sunday. Sundays normally I take rest. Since I'm planning to take 3-4 days holidays, I gave one Sunday I took class. Next Sunday, I don't think so I will take class. In case if I complete EIS by Friday, Saturday there will be no class. Clear? In case if I complete EIS by Friday, Saturday and Sunday 2 days holidays. We will start SM directly from Monday. Clear? Anyhow, Saturday, Sunday I won't take class. And moreover, the yesterday for Eid we gave holiday, right? So I thought, okay, let us take one more day. So from tomorrow, this will be the timing. Other timings, I think 6 to 8 there will be accounts class, and morning 1 hour will be law. After that, they will plan for in between they will plan for costing. Clear? I am least bothered about the others. This is 11:30 to 1 and 3:30 to 5:30. Clear? Understood? Next, this is an example of operational surprises and losses. This is an example of what? Operational surprises and losses. This type of surprises and losses in future business will not get if they manage their business properly. If business manages its risk properly, it will not give all these types of operational surprises and losses. Don't worry, my class is only from 3:30 to 5. Clear? So this is not true. Whatever I told, that is just an example. My class every day from Monday to Saturday, only 3:30 to 5. I will not take 2 hours also, because I know 2 hours if I take, you will die. I'll also die. No one will sit for theory class for 2 hours. 1.5 year, 1.5 hour only mutkuntane untaru. This is called what? Minimizing operational surprises or losses. Now tell, if I am able to analyze my future risk properly, if I am able to identify my future risk properly, will I be able to reduce the expected losses and surprises in future? Will I be able to reduce my losses in future? Yes. This is called what? Minimizing operational surprises and losses. That was an example I gave, class timings. Understood? Next. Then it identifies and manages cross-enterprise risk. I already told you what is cross-enterprise risk. One risk creating multiple risk. One risk creating multiple risk is called what? Cross-enterprise risk. So it will not only help me to identify the risk, it will also help me to understand the impact of that risk. What is the impact of operational risk? It is creating one more risk. What is one more risk is creating? Third risk. Third risk is creating fourth. Fourth is creating fifth. Like that, because of operational risk, in total 7 risks are being created. Correct or not? That is called what? Identify and manage cross enterprise risk. And then it provides integrated response to multiple risks. Integrated response means one proper thing if you do, one thing if you do properly, all the risk will go off automatically. Let us say for example, if I perform my day-to-day activities properly, will I have operational controls? If I perform my day-to-day activities properly, will I have operational risk? No. If I don't have operational risk, will I have strategic risk? No. If I don't have strategic risk, financial will not be there, regulatory will not be there, reputational will not be there. Clear? Hazard and residual. Now tell, even after doing everything, which risk will still be there? Residual risk. Clear? That is called what? Integrated response. That is called what? Integrated response to risk. Means one risk if I manage, all the other risks will automatically come under my control. Clear? So please make a note of these 3 points. It is ability to identify and assess the risk. Clear? Under minimizing operational surprises and losses, first point is ability to identify and assess the risk. Second point is it reduces occurrence of losses. It reduces occurrence of losses. Those who have not done, you write, no problem. Aram se you write. Aram se doesn't mean that you will write till tomorrow. 1 or 2 minutes में finish. Done? TJ, done writing? Next. Clear? Next. Then it helps me to seize the opportunities. Now done. In future, if I am able to reduce my risk in future, in future, if I am able to reduce my risk, I am able to identify future risk, I am able to reduce my future risk. Will it result into threat for my business or opportunity for my business? That is called what? Seizing the opportunities. And then rationalize capital. Now tell, if I come to know which area of my business will be risky, if I'm able to know that in future which area of my business will have high risk, can I remove the capital from my business now only, slowly slow down the operations, invest in that business which is not having risk in future? So will it help me in proper allocation of resources, determining how much capital is required for which business? That is called what? Rationalization of capital. Clear? Note down these 2 points. Majority of the points of this chapter we have already done in second, third, fourth and fifth. Only thing is that we are learning the same points in a different subheadings here. So that is why this chapter I told last time we will do, because this is very easy and simple chapter. Next class, when do you have? Seizing opportunity means, see, using ERM, will I be able to, tell me, using ERM, will I be able to identify future risk? Using ERM, will I be able to identify future risk? If I am able to identify future risk, will I be able to control now only? Since I am able to identify the future risk, since I am able to control the future risk, what will happen? Will it be a threat for my business or opportunity for my business? Identifying and controlling future risk, threat or opportunity for my business? Opportunity. That is called what? Seize opportunities. Clear? Any doubts? Simple concepts, right? Anything you have any doubt here? So this chapter is very simple. Next. Next concept, should I start now or tomorrow? You tell. Very good. Today only, very good. Heading should be ERM concepts. Clear? Heading should be ERM concepts, which we will study in tomorrow's class. Clear? So tomorrow we will complete ERM and we will start with controls. Clear? So this notes will be updated now. I think it should be updated by now. And let us meet again in tomorrow's class. Enjoy your Sunday. Bye everyone.